Hello, friends. Many times in the past, or let's say occasionally in the past, I have spoken to you about Gödel's theorem, Kurt Gödel's theorem. His name is spelled Godel. So some people pronounce his name Gödel, but I think the correct pronunciation is Kurt Gödel. Nevertheless, Gödel was a Hungarian, Austrian, Czech mathematician who basically created an upheaval in the mathematical world. And when he and Einstein were at Princeton, they became intimate colleagues. Gödel was a genius of his own, or one of a kind, and so was Einstein, one in physics, one in mathematics, but both really shaping our understanding of reality in a very fundamental way. So, Gödel's theorem, when it is very simplified, is the understanding that there are mathematical theorems that are true but can't be proven. They are also referred to as Gödel's incompleteness theorems. And everybody agrees that there are profound implications for our understanding of reality and the laws of nature, particularly in how we perceive the limits of formal systems, including mathematics, and potentially, therefore, the physical universe, because the laws of nature seem to follow the principles of mathematics. So, to describe Gödel's theorem in detail would take a long time, but basically, his theorems demonstrate that in any sufficiently complex axiomatic system, there are true statements that cannot be proven within the system itself. And this implies that no formal system can be both complete and consistent. In the context of mathematics, this means that mathematical truth extends beyond the reach of formal proofs. This realization has philosophical implications for how we understand the universe. If the universe operates according to mathematical laws, Gödel's theorems suggest that there may be aspects of reality that are inherently beyond complete formalization or understanding through scientific methods. This challenges the notion of a theory of everything that could fully explain all phenomena in the universe. But even the theory of everything doesn't even pretend to explain consciousness. So, once again, Gödel's theorem shows that there are theorems that appear in the consciousness of of mathematicians that seem to be true, but they can't be proven through an algorithm, for example. The algorithm stops, and then suddenly the mathematician has a theorem in their head, in her or his head. If they accept it, then the algorithm can proceed. Otherwise, they are stymied. So many years ago, in a conversation with a physicist, Amit Goswami, who was also interested in consciousness, Amit suggested to me that Gödel's theorem implies creativity in the cosmos, in the laws of nature. And at many conferences, I kind of shared that idea with other with other physicists, including some scientists and philosophers and mathematicians. And whenever I suggested that Gödel's theorem could suggest a form of creativity in nature, they would roll up their eyes and say, "You're crazy," and things like that, which I'm used to, of course. But let's look at the implications of Gödel's theorem for creativity in nature. There are many other implications of this, but his theorems hint at a form of creativity in nature. Since not all truths can be derived from a set of axioms, this opens the possibility for new, unprovable truths to emerge, suggesting a dynamic and potentially creative aspect of reality. This aligns with the idea that intuition and creativity play a role in scientific discovery, as some truths might be understood or intuited even without formal proof. Moreover, the inability to fully formalize all truths within a system may reflect the complex and unpredictable nature of the universe. And remember, unpredictability and creativity also go together. So, once again, this aligns with the idea that intuition and creativity play a role in scientific discovery, as some truths might be understood or intuited without formal proof. Moreover, the inability to fully formalize all truths within a system may reflect the complex and unpredictable nature of the universe, which implies creativity. Okay, I said that before, that unpredictability and creativity might go together. So, this perspective suggests that the universe might not be entirely deterministic or mechanistic, allowing for new patterns and phenomena to emerge in ways that are not predictable or deductible from existing knowledge. So Gödel's incompleteness theorems challenge the completeness of formal systems and suggest that both mathematics and the universe might possess elements of creativity and unpredictability. This has huge implications for our understanding of reality, highlighting the limits of formal knowledge and the potential for new unprovable truths to shape our understanding of the natural world. So when I was thinking about Gödel's theorem, I also thought of the Indian mathematician Ramanujan. And if I may suggest, there's a movie called The Man Who Knew Infinity. It's about Ramanujan's life, and Ramanujan was an Indian mathematician who was for a time at Cambridge as a young man, and he would come up with these theorems that when he came up with them, there was no proof, and yet they all seemed to be true, and ultimately some actually had mathematical proofs to them as well. And when Ramanujan was in Cambridge, Bertrand Russell, the philosopher, was also there, and there was a mathematician called Hardy, who was the most famous mathematician at that time in the world. And when Ramanujan came up with these theorems, they would be astonished and said, "Where do you get them from?" And he, being brought up in India in a Hindu family, would say, "I received them from the goddess, from Saraswati." And they would roll up their eyes, and because they were all atheists and they could never understand his genius, but they acknowledged it. And he ultimately became a fellow of the Royal Society, which is the British snobbish way of saying, "Oh, we think you're great." So anyway, what I'm saying to you is we have limited minds. We are on one planet, a speck of dust in the infinite universe. Right now, we are told 2 trillion galaxies. possibly 60 billion habitable planets in the Milky Way galaxy. So on this little grain of sand in all the beaches of the world, we have this species called Homo sapiens, who has the temerity, the gall, the insolence, the hubris of thinking we can solve the mystery of the universe. There is humility in science. Of course, Einstein had humility and Gödel had humility. And great scientists are humble, but there's also a lot of hubris in science. We think that the scientific method can solve the mystery of our existence or create a model that brings us closer to truth, when in fact the truth remains inexplicable. There's no explanation for logical explanation for why the universe exists, for why you and me exist, of why there was a Big Bang, why did it occur, when it occurred, why was it so precise, the cosmic inflation that results in a universe fine-tuned for mind and life, and yet the scientific model is extremely successful in creating technologies, including the one that I'm using right now to speak to you. I feel that reality is not only stranger than we think it is, but reality is stranger than we can think. Philosophically, mathematically, scientifically, we can create models of reality and think that we are getting closer to understanding the mystery of existence and how it operates, but nothing could be further than the truth. 8 limbs of yoga is something called niyama, and the last niyama is called Ishwar Pranidhana, and it means surrender to divine mystery. And I think if we surrender to divine mystery and lose some of our cockiness, then perhaps the divine mystery will reveal even greater truths to us, which are beyond the rational, scientific, or philosophical mind. Surrender to mystery and then seek to get closer to the truth, knowing that the truth of creation is probably incomprehensible to the human mind, and that is what Freeman Dyson said about God. He said, God is what mind becomes when it passes the threshold of our understanding. I'd love to know from you if you believe in divine mystery and the idea of surrender to divine mystery, and to the idea that no amount of philosophical, rational, scientific inquiry can solve the mystery of our existence. And when we surrender to it, somehow there is a blessing that comes along with the notion that reality is not only stranger than we think it is, it's stranger than we can think. Have a wonderful day, my friends. And also, just a reminder, Digital Dharma is a user's guide on how AI can elevate spiritual intelligence and personal well-being. And you can also engage with my digital twin, digitaldeepak.ai, in Hindi, in English, in Spanish, and in Arabic. What a great adventure this existence is. And it's shocking to me that we are not perpetually surprised or astonished by our existence. I think astonishment is a spiritual experience. Bewilderment, astonishment, surprise. As Rumi said, exchange your cleverness for bewilderment, and you have embarked on a spiritual journey. Take care.